shit. Ladies and gentlemen, now comes the fucked up subject of the hour. Please refasten your safety belts, keep your hands and feet inside the ride, and don't touch anything. It's going to get weird.
And boxing gloves are highly encouraged.
Of the gladiators.
Yeah.
It's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen of the court.
So let's just go ahead and put the nail. Let's start with the first nail in the casket. What I want non-teachers to realize is that we don't just sit there and look at a curriculum. Okay, that's what a lot of people think. Oh, you're reading from a book. You know what? Shut your fucking mouth. Okay. We not only have to look at that curriculum, then we have to try to make that curriculum somewhat interesting, because every single curriculum that's out there is dry, boring, and overly redundant. And so now we've got to take this and shape it to the children that we're working with, right? Whether that's sixth grade all the way up through seniors in high school. Now we've got to make it interesting, because these little assholes don't want to fucking learn. Then we've got to mold it to where we get engagement out of the kids. We're back in school, and now we've got to get engaged. Guys, not only are we teachers, but like Chad was saying earlier, when he steps outside to talk to to his kids, we're also like little mini therapists. We're counselors. Mm-hmm. We're men for the younger kids. We're fucking babysitters.
Some of these kids were parents.
Wow.
And if the educators of the world can start wrapping their heads around the finer points of what teachers do on a daily basis, they'll start to realize why so many teachers are quitting the job, number one. They'll start being more thankful for their teachers. And we might actually see teachers getting the recognition that they actually deserve. And it's not like I care about recognition, but what I care about is that we're doing a job. We're not indoctrinating your fucking kids. I'm sick of that. If I hear that word one more time, I hear that goddamn word, you're indoctrinating my child. That's about bullshit, what? I'm teaching your child about Mesopotamia. Okay, how can I indoctrinate your kid about anything?
We can't get them to turn in the assignment, let alone fucking try.
Look, can we pause on that for a second? My wife, she's at work, and a guy comes up, and his kid goes to my school, and apparently his daughter is gay. Cool. And this is a recent phenomenon, right? It is what it is. Like, he's just found out about this. This guy apparently was not happy about it. And whatever, that's your life. But he said, it's those teachers up at that school. Said that to my wife, knowing that her husband works at the school. My wife shut him down.
Was it Governor DeSantis?
So my wife shut him down. She said, wait a minute, do you realize how handcuffed these teachers are? They're teaching with their hands tied behind their backs. They can't talk about anything. They're not allowed to express their opinions, their political views, anything. If your child decided to start dating girls or whatever, that's because she decided that. And if there's an influence, it's the other kids at the school. It's not the teachers. And I'm going, dude, be a parent. Talk to your kid. Don't blame us. And you've never even come and sat with us and talked to us or anything. And you have no evidence whatsoever that we're convincing your child of anything, but we somehow made your child gay? Can we talk about the number of red flags in that statement?
Out of all the things that a teacher would do, a teacher would seriously if they could get a kid to do, dating the same sex would not ever show up on that list.
No.
If we could force these kids to do something.
If I could get any of my students to do anything, it would be fucking shower first. But we've already talked about that. Oh my God. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And that's welcome to living in Texas, by the way. In Texas, it's rough. And I'm like, man, dude, seriously, I'm going to talk about this stuff. If a kid comes up to...
It's the exact opposite from Washington State. It's the exact fucking opposite. Oh, he doesn't have a pride flag in his classroom? He must be anti-gay. No, bitch, I haven't bought the fucking thing yet because there's 187 different variations of it, and I want to make sure I get one that looks good.
Yeah, it's despicable. And don't get me wrong, there are teachers who don't support their students because of their personal beliefs. True. Look, I support every last one of my students, no matter what. It doesn't matter to me, like, who they are individually. I see their individuality. I can acknowledge that. But, man, I'm going to support them. I'm going to treat each and every last one of them equally and with respect and love and kindness. I treat them better than my own kids. Are you kidding me?
The only time a kid ever gets any disrespect from me is if they give it to me in return. I'll lower my tone. I'll become a little bit more strict, a little bit more forceful. If you're going to come at me with a loaded mouth gun, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to show you, like, hey, back up, chill out a little bit. Let's get to the root of why you're angry here, but you don't need to be coming at me like that.
Yeah.
But God, no, I tell you what, I got so much flack for not having a pride flag in my classroom for the first few months.
That's crazy to me, because in the state of Texas, if you put several teachers have them, but you put that up and you are exactly what they claim you are. You're indoctrinating our kids. What if the teacher's gay? Now what?
These are the days, and I hate bringing it. Oh, yeah, you got DeSantis.
Yeah.
So not only do I have DeSantis, on my wall, I have the Florida flag. I have the Palmia, the WMIA.
Oh, yeah.
I have the suffrage flag.
Okay.
I have my ally flag that Mikey sent me.
Nice.
I have all of the military branches, to include the Space Force. I have a tea-stained Betsy Ross hanging up on my wall. I have the flag for the great country of Texas.
It is.
I have...
Yes.
It is. I grew up in Texas, so that's why. My family's still there. I've got a pride flag in the corner, and then I have my thin blue line I have for my law enforcement. And so the fact is, if you want to come in and throw anything at me, I'm like, go ahead, fight. Pick which one you want to be pissed off at.
Well-rounded. Rounded.
Yes.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, I even have so if they really want to have it, I have a Jesse Jackson in 84 presidential campaign poster up on too. Found that at a thrift store too, so yes, I will Macklemore the shit out of my classroom.
Yes!
But I have the Black Hills Aren't For Sale. I have... I've just got everything that... Somebody can find something to be pissed off about, but somebody can find something that's going to be appreciative too.
Yeah.
It's just the four walls? Because that's a lot of shit.
That's a lot of shit on your walls, bro.
You know what? I'll when I get back, when I get my room reset back up, I'll violate my promise to my principal, and I'll take a video and I'll do a classroom, like, hey, this is my classroom TikTok, and show you, because I don't use my overhead lights. I've got all the table lamps set up, so it's a nice chill environment. I've got LEDs around the ceiling, TVs on, all the dumb shit. But yeah, they also, by the way, they're not hanging outward; they're hanging down.
I got you.
But yeah,
I do love a good show and tell.
It is. It's a fun one, but the kids that come in and they're like, "Oh, you've got that flag." I said, "The only thing straight about that flag is the way it's hung." Somebody will get the thank you. I was like, dude, they're like, what is that? Oh shit, yeah.
Listen, I understand, but
yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, look, Brett broke it down. There's so much that we do, and then people, you don't have the right to talk about pay. Is it like only teachers aren't allowed to talk about their pay? Every other job in the world negotiates for better pay. You work at a job for 20 years, you're going to want to raise. And we constantly, you signed a contract, you agreed to that. Yeah, we did. That doesn't mean we can't want more pay, especially as inflation increases.
Adjust for inflation. When most teachers have a pay increase, inflation, has been up 8% in the last, 2 years? I think it is
8.7% in the last 12 months.
8.7. And where in Florida we got I think they showed us I think we're sitting around 2 or 3 over the past 2 years. But but we're already low as it is. We're one of the lowest in the state in Bay County.
Okay. That's right. We can put it into perspective. Yeah. There are some, I'll tell you guys right now, my wife and I are blessed. We work for a very good district, a very well paid district. And I'll say it. But we also live in one of the most expensive cities in the United States. So it's got to make up. There's the rub.
There's the rub.
There are so many teachers who live so far below the poverty line because starting salary in some places doesn't even equate to 2/3 of the poverty line. So you're telling me that if I was one of those teachers, I couldn't go to my school board with my union rep and go, I work 3 jobs and I still can't afford my house payment.
Yeah. And the problem in Texas, it's a right to work state.
Same in Washington. But we're contracted, so we at least Our union is good there, thank God.
Yeah. Hey, are you guys getting the anti-union stuff in your states as well?
I don't want to say if it's a state thing, but my mom is a union rep for the school district that she's in, so I get to see it firsthand when I accompany her to keep her safe during board meetings sometimes.
Yeah, my wife's the rep for our union.
And let me break it down further. She's the lead steward, but she represents the classified. So she's repping all the paraeducators, bed, all that good stuff, because that's what she is. She's a paraeducator.
Let's not even get into how bad those fuckers are treated. Jeez.
Oh my gosh! And how much work they do.
They just approved our paras and our pretty much all of our support. They just approved them at $15 an hour.
Oh wow!
Put it this way, you don't want to talk about when they couldn't get the subs. Yeah, the subs were at $9.90 or $9.50 an hour. They just this year pushed them to 12. They pushed them to 12 this year.
It is ridiculous. Let me put it this way. So, like, my mom put it best, and I adopted her methodology. So, like, whenever there is a paraeducator in the classroom, I know every teacher is different, but what I tell my students, I was like, no, she is not a paraeducator. She's the second teacher in this classroom. She's just as educated. She is helping you guys. She knows you guys just as much as I do. So you're going to treat her with the same, you're going to treat him or her with the same respect you do me. Absolutely. And don't give them attitude. Don't give them lip. Do not demean them, because if I find out that you are being disrespectful, we're going to have problems, because that is a teacher. I was like, and that's the one thing that I want, especially administration and parents, to know. It doesn't matter the job title. Respect your paraeducators. You thank them, because they do the same amount of work, if not more than some teachers do.
Like principal secretary.
Oh, you couldn't pay me enough.
Oh, hell no.
Principal secretary, you got to work 2 jobs because of the pay, but you're working 3 jobs at that one. The amount of crap they put on secretaries in the school, it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal.
The amount that they drag these paras, because there's so many of the paras that we have, and I even hate calling them paras because it's a lessened position. No, they pull them, and from day to day, they may not know what they're doing. Hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, but this is what we're going to have you do. By the way, at any moment's notice, you're going to impromptu sub this class, and we're going to bounce you. And since you're a para and you're not a teacher, you don't get a planning, so we're going to use you all 7 periods.
Yeah. And they have to be like a Swiss Army knife. They have to be a jack of all trades, because they get bounced around from different subject to different subjects. So it's just,
yeah,
I'm like, respect your paraeducators. But I want to go back to this salary thing real quick. So parents, this one's specifically for you. So if you're listening and you're not going to like what I'm about to say, then fast forward a couple minutes, because this is going to be a long one. When I ask for classroom donations, please don't email me back and tell me, be like, oh, you're a teacher, you should afford it. I'm like, I shouldn't have to pay for my classroom supplies, but surprise, I have to. Because half the time I was, what do you mean this paycheck? 10% of it goes into buying pencils and other things that I should be supplied with, because your child seems to keep losing their pencil and I keep running out. So that's why I asked my principal, be like, hey, my parents are going to buy me a pencil machine for Christmas. So is it okay if I charge students for pencils? She's do it. So I have a pencil machine in my classroom. So the kids are like, Mr. Hell, can we get a pencil? I'm like, yeah, do you have a quarter? Stick it in the machine and there you go. But when I asked for classroom supplies, please don't email me back and give me a smart ass remark. I was just like, I'm asking my parents for supplies because I need help. I'm not asking you for like hundreds of thousands of dollars here. I just want a box of pencils that's like maybe $20. If you can't afford it, like give me some tissues, some, I don't know, wipes, colored pencils. I'm like, these are things I need throughout the year. You just don't get them at the beginning of the year and that will last you. I'm like, have you met the students that we're working with here?
Our district did something real cool. They were like, hey, teachers, get an Amazon wish list. We'll share that out and have parents help you out. That was met with so much fucking flack. Now, my district is full of Boeing and Microsoft employees. Go fuck yourself.
I'm like, I'm not asking for technology. I'm not asking for expensive shit. I just want a box of pencils. It's so much to ask.
The most expensive thing in my Amazon cart last year was a $25 set of rope lights. that a mom actually bought because she thought that would be cool in my classroom. Oh, a little ambiance. All right, cool. Shit.
Jump on my wish list and bought me a multi-pack of Ticonderogas.
Nice.
You bought something off my wish list, didn't you? Was that you?
No, I sent you small sweatshirts.
I gotta get that out of my truck and put it on my bulldog.
Oh, dude, you got a bulldog?
Oh, dude, I got an English bully. I'm still waiting, by the way, motherfucker, for my man-sized one.
They're still shaving the sheep to make it.
Jeez Louise,
Big bastard.
Damn it. Oh, okay. Speaking of parents, this is my favorite topic to talk about. Parents, I'm not asking for you to reply to every email. I'm not asking you to reply to or call me back when I call you from the school phone. But one acknowledgement of anything that I sent you would be fine, because this whole entire year, I had maybe 2 or 3 families that were good at getting back to me. The rest of them, I'm like, do y'all even have parents? Because I haven't seen nor heard of them for the entirety of the year.
Yeah, it's extremes. You either get 0 contact or would you please leave?
Listen, I will take the please leave me alone. I was like, at least it's a response. There we go. But I'm just like, just give me something. Don't leave me in limbo.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't mind if you don't want to talk to me. Cool. I'm okay with that. But do not act like you are parent of the year a week before grades are due every quarter.
Oh.
And, little Johnny, I don't know why they're failing. Could you please tell me what assignments they're missing?
Look, you have access.
Into the computer.
That part.
Go in there and see why your kid is failing. And it's not when we were in school. And I hate to do that back when we were to do the old back in our day type shit. But the idea is that we used to be able to get the progress report. Oh, the teacher's just screwing me over. You could almost get away with a little bit of some bullshit.
A little bit.
Now, because even as a parent, I go on to my sons and I'm like, before he's ever tell me he's failed a test, I know about it because it's in focus. And so I sit there and I'm looking, and I was like, if I can do it, they can do it. So when you look at me and go, could you please tell me, and could you give me a list of all the assignments my son is missing? I was like, it's in focus. You can see it all there. Could you provide him a copy of the assignment? I said the student was provided that on paper the first time, and second, if they would like it again, it's digitally in Canvas. And they're like, what's Canvas?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, and they're like, I think every email I've ever sent to a parent, I have written, deleted, written again, deleted, and then written a third time because I got to check myself for that. The sarcastic going, here, fucktard.
Yeah.
I've got to remove that tone. I've got to remove that tone.
I got an email on Monday. That I just responded to this morning. I woke up Monday morning, grabbed my phone, saw I had a couple emails from work. Looking through them, figured they were like, you did this. Here are postings for if you want to do summer school or if you want to transfer jobs. Here's our transfer portal, all this other shit. No, it was a parent. So little Johnny Appleseed over here, I'm trying to figure out why he got a D in your class. Was he missing assignments? I see he was missing assignments. So we're going to have him turn those in, and we want to make sure that he can get his grade up. And I'm like, school ended Friday, and I turned in my grades Friday. Yeah, look, I need to message. You got to message me who she was again because I forgot. I'm going to see if she'll make me one.
Your jar full of fucks.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. So
look, I'm telling you, man.
Go ahead, Chad.
No, yeah, we all live the same life in different places. Parents just, it's ridiculous. You've had access in our district. You're getting, at least my school for sure, you're getting an email. If your kid is failing a class, you're getting an email alert once a week. You have full access. You get reports, updates. We're required to contact you so often, and you're getting report cards. But then at the end of the year, how come I haven't heard from you? Lies, man. I got all that. And that's the other people outside of education don't realize how much documentation is involved in just proving that I did my job. I spend more time documenting that I did my job than actually doing my job.
I will say that I love the idea that we have focus for the grading system and attendance and all that nonsense. I don't know if y'all use it or familiar with it. But I send emails directly to the parents from this, and then there's a nice little button that says attach to student record. So every time I email a parent a message, or email the parent and the student, because I always hit them both, it puts it into the kid's school digital record. So when they go, you haven't contacted me, student documentation, boom. As you will see, here's the date that I sent this report out, this report out, this report out. And you have never replied back to me. I said, I have Google Voice, I have Remind, I have email, I have the Focus Messenger. I said, those are 4 just right off the top, not to include the school phone that you can hit me up on. And there's all those numbers provided right on my Canvas page.
Yep.
You have no excuse to not reach to me. And I get a kid the day after. I don't know if I talked about that last time, but I did a video on it, asking me if there was something he could do to bring up his first semester grade the day after school let out. I wish it was a joke and I was just making up some comedy for a video, but I wasn't. He goes, is there something I can do to get my grade up, because my mom's been riding my ass on it? I said, dude, it's the first semester grade. That should have taken care of, I don't know, during the first semester, or maybe even the second semester, but not after school has let out.
Seriously. Just ridiculous. Or I love it when they come to you the last day of school. Is there anything I can do to save my grade?
No.
I just submitted your grades. It's over.
Did that video. I know you guys had to see it. Is there anything I can do? Yeah, spell way. W-A-Y. Oh, you forgot the F. There's no F in way. Exactly.
That's priceless.
That is genius.
I saw that too late to use it this year, but it is going to be a staple of my conversations next year.
Damn it, I wish I taught high school.
Golden. There are some benefits to teaching high school.
Listen, Brett, this is how you get. This is what I've come to find. This is how you get away with it with middle schoolers, especially the ones that told me, so I'm gonna tell the principal. I'm like, go for it. And who do you think she's going to believe?
I mean, there's that.
And see, here's the thing, though, too, because it depends on who your administration is. Like, I can get away with it where I'm currently at because my principal and I were on the same wavelength. Like, she's professional, she's cool, she's awesome, but she also a little bit ghetto sometimes too when she needs to. So I was just like everyone was telling me, be like, yo, watch when she actually digs into a kid. I'm like, are we seeing the same thing? And then I witnessed it firsthand. I'm like, I'm even scared, and I'm an adult. I was like, don't make me get in trouble with her. Woo, boy. Sometimes you gotta get ghetto with these kids, and that looks different for everyone. But I'm like, bro, I'm Mexican. Don't play with me, homie. Be like, I'll go vato loco on your ass in a heartbeat.
Hey, wait, hold on.
There.
Hey, don't wear doors.
Don't look at me, little puppet.
Don't look at me. Fuck,
No,
I'm watching.
Leroy. I said a vegetarian.
Oh, that was another conversation that
I'm
happened this year.
bilingual.
We're gonna have a watch along at some point. But that was the other thing too. Like when I look at these kids, they're like, you don't know what I've been through. I was just like, homie, when you have knee reconstruction surgery, when you've been shot at a couple of times, then come talk to me.
Fuck you. I'm still trying to find a doctor that will cut me open and fix my goddamn knee.
But at least when you find a doctor, you don't have to worry about not dying. I go to the VA.
That's the other. Oh my goodness. That's the other thing I want non-teachers to realize too. It's just, if I'm going to have a sick day, let me have a sick day, ladies and gentlemen. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't call.
Worst.
I was just like, I am human. I get sick sometimes too. It may not seem like it, but
I'll go in.
There have been times where I've been sick. I was like, I can't afford to miss, unfortunately. So I'm like, Mr. L, you look green. I was like, I'm sick. I have a cold. I think I'm going to puke at some point later today, but damn it, we're here because I can't afford to miss a school day, unfortunately.
Yo, when I caught the Wuhan, shit, I had parents like, we know you're out, but what the fuck are you in? I'm trying not to die. I'm trying not to die here.
It's more work. I will go in. If I've got a cold, if I've got something going on, I will go in because I'm like, fuck, I'm not put together enough to have that sub plan on standby.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's so much more work when you miss, man. And crazy stuff happens, man.
Why is it that crazy stuff always happens when you're out?
Look, so I was out. I had the vid, and I was out. And while I was out, this is the first 2 weeks of school. Logged in. This is last year, so it was in the hybrid learning. So the first day they were all virtual. Introduced myself, and then so when they actually were on campus or whatever, I was gone because I had the vid. I'm at home dying, and my colleagues are teaching my classes. I get back, and I got in trouble for a text that was provided to my students while I was gone. They're like, parents called and they complained about this text. And I'm like, what text? I don't even know what you're talking about. You do understand I've been gone for 2 weeks. I actually had to have that conversation. What? Are you kidding me?
You got in trouble for a text somebody else sent?
Yes. Not a text message, like a text the students read, like a reading.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad. Didn't contextualize that enough. Yeah, no, a text, so like a essay they provided to students to read and analyze, and it was an argumentative piece because sophomores, they're doing argumentation. And they were like, well, this is a one-sided piece. And I was like, yeah, because it's an argument. That doesn't mean that was the only text that was provided. And also, I wasn't at work.
I'm not even supposed to be.
And that's just on sick days. Don't even get these started on when I take. I've had to rarely do this, but there were some points this year where thankfully my principal is very supportive because I was like, I need to take a mental health day for me because my brain is just, if I don't take a day to myself, somebody's going to get hurt. I'm like, I will throw this child out of the room. I will throw this child off the second story building, like right now. Defenestrate. I will defenestrate this child through my window.
Or this one. Raise your hand if you had to take a day off so that you could catch up on your work. Take a day off work so that you can work.
Oh, okay.
What other profession does that?
I don't. I can't even tell you. Or how about Or how about this one? Maybe it's not for everybody, but how many of you actually? I had to set boundaries this year, but how many of you had, because of everything that's we do in a day, you had to take some stuff home to grade for no apparent fucking reason? See, that was just me. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it stays there.
I set a standard this year.
Damn, Brett. Like, I feel you. See, I'm not.
I will stay late, and I told my wife, I said, I will stay late an hour and a half most days. So the fact is, when I go home, you have to have that line that we cannot burn ourselves out to the fact is that we are thinking about teaching 24/7.
Yeah,
I did it when I was in the service. I did it when I was in the service. It's with the military, it's 24/7 because you can get called in. Long story on that one. Yeah. But knowing what it does to the family, and my first year, and even into my second and third year, was bringing it home and going, I've got to grade papers. Why am I taking time out of my family and doing everything? I said I have to have it. And this year I set that, and I was like, I'm not bringing home anything to grade.
See, part of that reason that I do have it is right now it's just my wife and I right now. And we're both teachers, so we both end up bringing shit home just because, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I don't want to be in that fucking building anymore. Like, I start looking at those full walls, and I'm like, I just got to get the fuck out. And I still got all this grading to do, but I can go home. I can be in my recliner. I can have my beer. I can watch my TV show in the background while I'm grading. And I can have those. So for me, with just being me and my wife, it was easy. That could all be possibly changing in a year or two.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, everybody's got their own way of approaching it, but there's got to be a boundary somewhere. Like, when it's wife-husband time, when it's family time, you're there. Like,
you gotta put it away.
Yeah, and exactly. But if you're on all the time, you can't be. In my first year of teaching, I was working till like midnight. Like, I'd leave work and I'm working till midnight, grading papers and writing curriculum and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to get back to work, setting up on all the plans and everything. The amount of work was just crazy. And honestly, to do all the work that's actually expected of us, you pretty much have to work 25 hours a day.
Absolutely.
And so you've got to decide, look, some of these balls are going to have to drop.
Yep.
Because I need to give so much attention to other people's kids that your kids get neglected. You give so much attention to other adult parents that you don't get to spend the time with your spouse. And that's not okay. And how many marriages have fallen apart in this profession? It's not okay.
No.
Besides marriages too, just like romantic relationships in general too, because thankfully I've been very blessed to not have that happen with my current relationship, but I have seen it and it is not.
That was one of my wife's biggest fears when we started dating, because I wasn't in education at the time. I was working retail, which is another beast in and amongst itself. And she was always worried because she was still bringing stuff home, because at that time she was working with severely handicapped children. So there was a lot of stuff that she did have to bring home to get ready to manipulate for the next day. And that was her biggest fear, is like, there are days where I'm not going to be able to go hang out. We're just going to have to sit here while I do work. I can't tell you how many laminated fucking sheets I cut dating this woman.
What a trooper. That's a keeper, right? That's a keeper right there. If they're willing to cut all those laminated sheets.
And that's the thing, though. It's like you said it, Chad. It's like when you got to be able to shut it off, and you got to find the right time to shut it off. And as a teacher, you have to be willing to shut it off first and foremost. You have to be willing to put, like, I spend so much time reflecting on me and asking, like, how bad did I really F that up? And so I get caught up in that spiral, and eventually it's just, you've got to leave it. When you walk out of that school with that problem, you got to be able to set that down and just deal with it when you get back.
Yeah. And that tags on something else is a problem that people don't realize about teachers. Mentally, what we do to ourselves, passionate teachers that really care about the job, that care about those students, care about what we're doing. You pour so much into it, and then you reflect, what did I do? What could I improve? And you end up in this guilt cycle if you're not careful. And you end up in giving yourself these mental issues, and it's something that's not really addressed, but you're always on. And so you don't have time to deal with it. And that's why you end up having to take those mental health days, or you spend the first month of summer break just completely useless and not able to really do the things you want to do. And some of us, you step out of that classroom at the end of the school year, you step into summer school or another job. A lot of teachers have to work jobs over the summer. You don't get the recovery everyone thinks you get.
No. And that was me this year, because like I was sharing earlier, like this is only my 4th day of actual summer, quote unquote, vacation. But as soon as I cleaned out my classroom, and can I just say, I don't care what nobody says, cumulative files can go burn in hell for all I care. I hate cum files. But the point being is, I'm 4th day on vacation. What have you been doing the last couple of days? In my bed, sleeping, not doing anything, because I just collapsed. I was I checked out. So I was like, if you don't hear from me for the next 3 days, it's not because I'm ignoring you on purpose. I'm just decompressing. I am sleeping in. I am trying to find a balance to get back to stasis.
And it's my wife. She was a Montessori teacher for many years. Before.
Wow.
Yeah. Early childhood too. So she did the babies. And so she's familiar with the teacher life, and she had to deal with my military stuff. But she's one of the greatest supports, that when I come home, that she's I try not to unload on you, because I get home, it's just, you walk in that door and you just set your stuff down and just go, can I not think for 5 minutes? You have to find a way to get that reset. That kind of just...
And that kind of plays into something that Chad brought up earlier too, in that sense of loneliness. Like, the other thing that for me is that unless other people are in the education field, sometimes it's like talking to them when I'm venting, or if I'm telling them is what's been going on. It's like being a teacher and telling non-education people, teacher people, is just like talking in a foreign language. So I was just like, they listen, but it's just, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall half the time, and that's not their fault, but I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder, is it coming across like the Charlie Brown?
Yeah. And there's so many, we could go for hours talking about things people don't understand.
Oh my God, yeah.
When you're trying to wind down, I don't know about you guys, but like my first couple weeks outside of, I'm doing summer school, so I'm right back on it. And of course we have to be there really stupid early in the morning. But I had about a week, and I went through, I'm doing what Mikey's talking about. I'm completely wiped. I'm sleeping in, doing all that stuff. But then the other part is, I'm supposed to be answering an email, or I'm supposed to be doing this. And I'm having to force myself, shut it off. You don't have any obligations right now. Relax. But I can't. Like, it's almost like I'm going through work withdrawals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found myself doing that today. Actually, I did it yesterday, and I found myself doing it today. Was checking my work email because it's a Gmail base, so I have it programmed in. I'm like, let me go through, and there was, of course, emails that I had to respond that I'm supposed to respond to, or they're requesting communication back, and I'm like, do they expect? Does admin, and I've got a great admin staff, but yes, they're on all year. They're 12 month. But do they expect us to sit there and be checking our email over the summer? And I'm like, yeah. When do we get to check? When do we, seriously, we're not on the clock. When do we check out? You don't get me until the end of July when I come back.
Right.
That's a real problem.
I've got, hey, by the way, you've got a summer PD. They're trying to schedule some meetings. And they're like, yeah, you'll get paid for this. You'll get paid for this. I need to check out. I need to check out, and I need to recover.
I need a break, guys.
Because I had a couple of days prior to, or right when school let out, I think it was just 1 week. And then I had to get into some of the summer training that I have to do.
Right.
And that was 2 weeks. Then I had about a day off. Actually, no, I didn't even have a day off before I went down to go see my daughter. She just moved to Gainesville. And so I just come off. So this is like my first real day of like legit summer. And I checked out, and me and the kid was playing Fortnite for the most of the day today.
There you go.
And it was just awesome. My wife was really great about it. We just came back from a 5 hours trip last night driving, but she was like, you know what, I'm just going to let him have the day. She didn't bust her butt. Didn't necessarily bust, because it's not that she's one of those ones, hey, you need to do this. No. But she just goes, you know what, I'm going to let him check out today. And it was great. We seriously need to make sure that we do that. We check on ourselves and each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's, the problem. I hear this language, and it's toxic, because we want to honor your time. Then don't email me at 11 o'clock at night. Don't tell me you're going to honor my time and then schedule a meeting after work.
Unless it is
non-contract hours.
Unless it is of absolute dire fucking need. Don't email me.
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock at night. I don't need an email saying, little Johnny's on ISS at 10:30. I don't give a shit.
And that's another thing. I feel like administrators working themselves to death, because we see it from our side, but we don't see it from their perspective. Why are you working at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
You've got to set some boundaries too. It's okay. You should not allow these parents to have this much access to you. And you have a family too. And we can't afford for you to be disgruntled. And then, because when you come into work, you're going to take it out on us. And that's not okay. And then we're going to end up with this tension. And it's just across the country. There's these. I get along well with my administrators, but across the country, man, there's tension. It's like it's us against them, and it shouldn't be that kind of dynamic, man. Y'all got to take some time off. You got to respect your own boundaries as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they could do something, and I do it to my son's teacher, and I'll start him at the beginning of the year. I was like, if I ever email you at night, it's because I read something that I'm going, oh crap, I forgot to do this. As the parent, do not reply to me. You see a message, do not reply. I do not expect to hear back from you. I don't expect to catch you at the middle of the night. If you read it, it's on you. I do never expect immediate response. I said a minimum 24-hour turnaround and I'll put urgent, non-urgent at the beginning of it. If it was, I'd put like urgent. This is holy crap. I really fucked up on something. I'll even put the email off. I'll even put it out there. I do not expect a response back until tomorrow morning. Do not worry about this. Because we do have to value that time. And I think we're in the age of technology and easy access. I have my phone set up for my emails, but I don't get emails from my work. I don't get notifications from my work email outside of the office hours, outside of business. I have it set up from 06 to, I think I went all the way up to 6 o'clock. I think I was 5 or 6 o'clock. I said, if I don't get the email during that time, I don't get a notification until the next morning, which is, It's so nice because your phone's not blowing up Hey, why isn't this graded? Why isn't this graded? Hey, could you call my mom? Could you tell me this? No.
No. That's what frustrates me is that from 7:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon is when I will answer you. Anytime after that, I've left the school building. I'm not answering parent emails unless it is in an emergency. This year, I've only had one parent that would email me like at 10, 11 at night, but that was something that was discussed beforehand because mom told me at the beginning of the year situation. She works night shift job, single parent, and she says that's the only time where if I'm checking anything, I'm at work, I'll take a break like that late at night. And I'm usually up that late anyways because insomnia sometimes. But unless it is that kind of situation, and I appreciated that mom actually cared enough to be like, hey, my son's doing this. I'm sorry for bothering you. But she explained the situation of why she was emailing me so late because I was like, why is she emailing me at 10, 11 o'clock at night, lady?
Right.
And then on her day off, she came in during lunch and she explained the situation. I'm sorry, this is the situation, gave me the full story. I was like, damn, I feel like an asshole now. So I apologized to her. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. And I did not know the whole thing. So please forgive me. She said, it's okay. Sweetest woman ever. Very short. Like, I love her to death. She ended up becoming my room parent, funny enough. Like, she would take care of everything that I needed for the classroom while she was at work in the middle of the night. So while I slept, she was putting in the extra hours. So I was like, right. Ma'am, you're great. But once I'm out of the school building, don't call me, don't text me, don't. And that bleeds into my personal life too. I'm allowed to have a fucking personal life outside. If I want to go to a restaurant, if I'm out with some friends, if I'm at the beach, let me be a human being, damn it. Like, my brain is off. I should not have to be on 24/7 to appease you.
Yeah, if you see me at a restaurant and I'm sitting at the bar, it's because I'm an adult and leave me the hell alone.
Yes, that is not the time to have a parent-teacher conference. Why?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm sitting my first year. I did security. I was a bouncer at a biker bar. Go figure. And this mom came up. She's like, look familiar. You're my daughter's teacher. And wanted to have a whole discussion with me. Oh, this isn't who I am. I usually don't drink this much. And shit-faced. But wants to talk to me about her kid. And I'm like, Mr. Ward's not here. Get out. Go away.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Nope, not happening.
So this isn't my story, but a similar story happened where during the summer, I have another teacher friend of mine who works security we're adults here. Like, he works security at a strip club. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what? We don't shame on this in this household. But he was telling me that unbeknownst to him, it's one of those awkward situations when you find out one of the mom works there. And so there was just a whole cacophony. I was just like, she felt so bad. I'm just doing what I can. Listen, I don't know where everyone else stands, but I was like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I was raised by a hardworking parent. Like, I know there are some things that my mom had to do to make sure me and my brother got through college, made sure that we were taken care of. And she will admit weren't her proudest moments, but she had to do what she needed to do. So I respect that. So, like, we don't shame, but it was just interesting. I was just like, you handled it like a champ. It was great. But yeah, let me have a life outside of school. If I want to have a drink, let me have a drink. And that also goes to if I want to play video games or if I'm doing content creation as a side job or whatever, let me do this. And please, as long as I'm not embarrassing my school, what does it matter to you if I post a few videos or if I'm streaming or if I'm running a podcast? I'm like, let me just be creative. Let me be me.
Yeah.
Let me have a hobby. Let me have a life.
And it's not just all school.
Yes.
Exactly. It can't be, man. And that's there are certain things that just blow my mind. Okay, I'm a teacher and I posted about issues in the profession. I didn't mention my school. I didn't mention my district, just the profession. Why am I not allowed to do that? Why are you holding me to a higher standard than a congressman?
Right.
It makes no sense.
Oh, God. Don't get me started on that part. That's for a whole nother day.
That's a whole other day.
That'll be the next episode.
That's a horse of a different kind.
Seriously, I definitely want to be talking about that next time. It's because I got a lot to say, especially to people who think they know what's best for my classroom when you never stepped foot into a classroom a day in your motherfucking life. That would be
Even if you have stepped foot into a classroom, you don't know that classroom. You don't know the students. You don't know the dynamic. You don't know what the teacher has to deal with. You don't know what the student has to deal with.
Right.
Just because you think you don't. Let the ones in the classroom make choices.
You're not LeVar Burton. This isn't the more. Don't cue the fucking NBC star. Bum. But no, get that shit the fuck out of here. You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. I know everything about your job. I went to school. Shit. That's not how this works.
I was in high school. 38 years ago, you geriatric prick. Shut the fuck up.
And it kills me. People, you think you got a degree, you're so smart. And like, first, I didn't say that, but let's just break it down here. I went to school. I had to go through X amount of certification tests. I've been through this many hours of professional development, but yet you read a Facebook post, so please educate me.
And then to add to that episode when we get there, because that's I'm writing this down for future reference, but also talking about, I know every state is different when it comes to the process of becoming a teacher, but the shit that people deem as important when you're trying to become a teacher and then the actual experience of it, I was like, you could just throw that out the window.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get into that for another time.
Yeah.
How teacher prep programs really don't teach you or prep you to be a teacher.
Yeah. Yes. I could tap dance on that salt all day.
Oh,
we'll save that can of worms for next time. But
Brett, you were alt cert, right?
Yeah, I was alt cert.
Yeah, you were alt cert. I think
alt cert?
Alternative.
I didn't go through a teacher.
Yeah.
No, I went through a teacher prep program.
Oh no, alt cert meaning you don't have a degree in education.
Oh no, I'm K-12 sped, K-8 general.
Okay.
My degree is in psychology, so.
Yeah, so me, I got an English degree, but traditionally, like, you go through a concurrent master's program and you get certified as a teacher. In Texas, Florida, different places like that, most of the time people can't. And so I got my degree, and then I went through a online course, had to pay like $5,000 and got certified that way. So the first time I was teaching the first time I taught a class was when I was the teacher. I didn't do student teaching at all.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Oh, no.
I got an internship, so I was like...
Let's put it this way. I retired. My degree is in organizational management. My AA is in criminal justice. I retired from the military. Went overseas as a contractor for a year. I came back, got my substitute certification, which was sit through 5 hours. They found out I had a degree. They says, hey, do you want to teach? I was in a classroom before I started any of my programming. Yeah. Before I took any test, I was teaching in a 4th grade classroom. And then I finally passed my general knowledge, professional development, and my subject matter test. And that's even before I had to do all the online CBTs and all that craziness. Yeah. None of that prepped me for the real world. None of that shit.
Not one bit of it. Not one bit.
Nope.
Not one bit.
And that is going to be, I think we just found our next 2 topics for next time.
We're there.
So there we go. So that's going to take us into next episode when we get together again. But gentlemen, I think this was a very meaningful conversation. I think we got a lot of insight, cracked a lot of jokes, talked a lot of shit. It was great.
That's
for sure.
It's enough.
There's a science to it.
There is an absolute science to properly gassing a room.
I was blaming it on a student.
Look at, dude, Bobby, what the fuck did you eat, dude?
That's always my favorite. Blame the students.
Dude, I do that in lineman video when we have video days for football. I used to do that to my fucking linemen. I'd walk up into the back of the room and then walk all the way to the front to like, all right, so we're doing this, then. They're like, coach. I'm like, what? Dude, it was DJ. I walked right by him. I heard that ripple in the fucking seat.
I will top that one real quick. So between the bells, I wheel out a speaker and I play music in the hallway. Mainly it's because I can stand out there and bust ass and be loud as shit. No one could ever hear me because I'm blaring Macarena or some other bullshit out there. Then I'm standing right by my door, so they have to walk through it to get into the door.
That's teacher goals for next year. All right. I'm doing that shit.
And on that lovely note, I think we're going to wrap up this episode of Unprofessional Development. So if you somehow managed to make your way all the way to the end and found this conversation enlightening, thank you for joining us. And if you didn't like what we say, we don't give a shit.
This has been 3 beards and a baby, so...
Until next time,
baby.
signing off.
Grow some facial hair by next month, asshole.
No!
You have a task.
Yes, come
There
on.
will be a
During the
test.
summer, just grow it out during the summer, Givato.
Hey, just do your
Bring my
Vato logo for
bandana
the
next
summer.
time. I'm bringing my bandana next time. I'm sorry for being out of uniform, fellas.
There we go. Get a little
Don't worry.
soul patch or something, bud.
Yeah.
Until next time.